And welcome back to another episode of the Astros Future podcast here on the Believe Podcast Network. I'm your host, Jimmy Price, here with co-host Kenny Van Doren. Today on the show, we're joined by Astros pitching prospect Jagger Beck. Jagger, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Doing well. So we're going to go back a couple years. I know you've been in the system now 2 years, but go back to 2024. Can you just kind of go over what that draft process, kind of went like for you? Obviously, you signed as an undrafted free agent, but just kind of how the process looked for you.
Yeah, I mean, it was very crazy. I was in West League playing ready for college because I ended up not playing around like a month or two within my last senior year. So lost some interest there, but stuck around for it. Didn't end up getting drafted and had an opportunity, joined the Astros as an undrafted free agent, and just knew that's what I wanted to do.
And so what were the conversations like with the Astros? I guess just kind of leading up to that point. Like you said, you thought you may get drafted, ended up after the draft they contact you, but just can you kind of tell us what those were like?
Yeah, I mean, they were always around at the games, even when the other teams ended up leaving around the same time. But they ended up staying around. I didn't have any idea where I would go in the draft. It was kind of an unknown leading into it, and ended up just not getting taken. And I'm just thankful they gave me an opportunity now.
We don't see many high school UDFAs, but in more recent years, it's been more of this theme where you have that money saved up. You can go out and get a guy that you really like that maybe didn't fall to you right in the draft. Was it an easy decision for you to make that? So, you see the Astros success. You mentioned the Astros came to watch you. I'm sure you built a rapport with some of those guys. But was it easy for you to forego that commitment to Hawaii and just go right into pro ball at such a young age?
I knew Astros had a great development source for pitching, and I knew I needed to develop a lot coming out of high school, especially after falling way behind of what I already was. So I knew college was just a win now scenario, and I knew I wasn't maybe not going to get much playing time going there, and I just wanted to find somewhere that was going to help me get better.
So you signed with the Astros. You make your pro debut in 2025 in the FCL. Can you just kind of tell us what the that first year was like for you developmentally? I know you hit had some good outings as well, then had a little snag with the injury there. But just what was that year like overall for you developmentally?
I mean, it's very wild going from high school where you're not really lifting as much, you're not really prioritizing nutrition or anything, and then you're going there and your whole life is basically show up, make sure you're eating well, make sure you're doing your lifts, and then come game time, they give you a lot of like unique drills that'll help you get better specifically, and just very big plans that they want to accomplish with you. And I mean, games were obviously, it was very different from high school, having guys that can, hit a home run anytime they put good barrel on the ball. So learning how to get around that was a big challenge, and then just the competition's so much better than what I have faced before.
Speaking of that competition, it seems like the Astros have liked to do this with some of their younger prospects. We talked to your former teammate Anthony Hueso a couple months ago about this, but you went and played in Australia. Can you talk to that, just that opportunity at such a young age to go play overseas, and what that kind of helped you in your development as you got back in the swing of things, and then getting into single A this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think I couldn't explain how much I think it helped me, because like I know here specifically it's huge on development, but going out there for a while, they were so big on just fundamentals and doing it right, the right way too. And getting there also just gave me another source of facing really good competition. And then like the pitching staff there, they helped me out so much just from so many different levels that they've played at, and explaining games in different ways that you've never really thought of it as, and just make it so simplified on how they get through their outings. And I mean, the coaches there, they helped me develop still when I got there, but they were just so big on the little things in baseball.
So a little over 2 years now in the system. How would you say your repertoire has changed since you joined the Astros system back in 2024?
I mean, it is completely different. When I first got here, I was throwing 2 pitches. Now I'm throwing 5, working on a 6th. I mean, I don't even really know what I was in high school. I was just kind of throwing the ball, trying to throw strikes, and now I'm just learning how to pitch with all these different kinds of uses.
So I know last year you had hit some PRs in velocity, and I don't know how often the scoreboard is right when some of the minor league games, but it had you up to like 96. Is that kind of where your PR is right now?
Yeah, that's my PR right now.
We're talking about some of those PRs and the different workouts that you were doing when you're in the FCL. What would you say has been like the biggest step forward since you joined the Astros, just in that repertoire, pitching wise? I mean, with how much the Astros or maybe just any org will toy with it with the pitches you have. I mean, what's been the biggest step forward?
I mean, like when I first joined, they had some pitches that they thought would fit my profile specifically really well. And I mean, at first, like trying out these new grips, they weren't comfortable. Like they'd go everywhere at first. And by now, in these 2 years that I've had, I'm definitely comfortable with them to where I can throw them. And some of these pitches that I thought would just never work for me are my favorite things to throw now. So they're awesome.
So how much has the organization kind of changed the way that you think about pitch usage and attacking hitters? Obviously, go into it with a game plan compared to maybe where you're at in high school.
I mean, high school, I mean, it was just put it down the plate, and if you're throwing it hard, you're not going to get hit really. But now it's like you actually got to attack hitters with a plan, knowing they can do damage if you mess up. So now it's just finding their weakness, pitching into it, and just do it to your best ability.
Pitching into those weaknesses of those hitters, you've got both a curveball and a sweeper. They've gotten a lot of attention this year. I mean, how different are those two pitches for you, just grip wise, and when you're using them in counts?
I mean, yeah, I like me specifically. I try to veer away from the sweepers to lefties because that's just going to fall in bat path, and I know I can go to my curveball to it. That'll avoid that. And then vice versa, I like to go my curveball more to lefties because that'll just get away from it. And then I feel like I could throw them whenever I need to, which is probably my best thing for them. So I love being able just to do that.
When I'm kind of putting together, some of the highlights from the start, the strikeouts, it seems like 90% of them are on the curveball. Would you say that's your best pitch and is the one you maybe have the most confidence in throwing?
Yeah, every time catcher lays it down, I'm never going to shake it off. I love going to it.
So going back to where you were at the beginning of the year, where you're right now, what adjustment have you made this year that maybe you didn't expect coming in? I mean, was there anything either mentally, physically, or just pitch on the pitching side?
I mean, yeah, at the beginning of the year, I never thought I was really going to get tired throughout the year of just how much pitching was doing. Because I mean, every outing I've had and every year, it's just you kind of always bounce back. But I didn't realize how much stress it would actually put on you going this long and throughout the year every week. So it's like I always had a routine I like to do, but they change so much now because your body needs something new every week.
Getting into pro ball at such a young age, I think you were 17, right, when you signed out of high school. Was there a coach or teammate, early on or just in his last couple months too at Single A who had a particularly big impact on you since joining the org?
I mean, yeah, my pitching coach here right now, he lives pretty close to me back home, and I didn't know him until I got here. But I mean, he's helped me out so much, just being able to relate to him on similar experiences that he's had through me. So that's always been awesome.
So looking at your success this season, 3.01 ERA, 94 strikeouts and 80.2 innings, what would you just say is overall what's working so well for you this year in Single A?
I mean, just being able to throw any pitch, anytime. I feel like that's probably the biggest strength I have. I love being able to, just surprise the hitter with something they're not going to expect.
We'll get into some fun questions now, Jagger. We've got a couple for you. I was looking at your MILB profile on the official minor league baseball website. They have you listed as a switch hitter. Is that true?
Yeah, I was switch hitting in high school.
So
little time I was.
So tell us about that. I mean, hitting wise, if we put you in the box today, I mean, how do you think you'd fare?
Oh, I honestly think I might get one foul ball in 10 at bats. I don't think I stand a chance against any of these guys.
So speaking of hitting, and it would kind of switch to a different sport, but just a quick look, it looks like you played basketball and football in high school as well. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So I'll tie it to a couple other prospects here. Has there been any conversations with Xavier Nyans or Neymar Ochoa at basketball? Because when I asked them, what would they be doing if it wasn't baseball, they said basketball. I just curious if any of that ever came up in conversation.
I actually haven't talked to either of them about basketball or football. It's all baseball here.
Gotcha. Yeah. I asked Nyans, hey, are you able to dunk? He's 6'4", and he said, yeah. I'm assuming. I won't even ask you at 6'6". So we'll just go ahead and assume on that one.
Yeah.
I think your most recent video on Twitter too is you dunking from like 2023.
Yeah.
Last time you posted a video.
There you go.
One Astros prospect hitter you're glad you don't have to face.
I think I already answered this one early in the year, but it's Wazo. I mean, I learned what he could do to the ball after living with him in Australia for a while, and that's just something I'm happy I can avoid right now.
And I think I may have asked this one too, but we'll throw it out there again. And now you've had some different people come through the team as well since the last time we talked a few months ago. But is there a pitch that a current pitcher or a current teammate that you have that you're like, man, I wish I could just take that pitch from him?
Oh, I mean, it's so hard not to go to Leomar Rosario's fastball. I mean, that's just not everyone does that. It's insane.
Yeah, straight heat. I thought this was a pretty fun one. I just looked it up too. There's only one other Jagger in minor league baseball right now, Jagger Haynes. He's a AAA pitcher in the Padres system. Growing up, I mean, were there any cool nicknames that came with, you having a pretty cool name like Jagger? And you got a good follow-up on that as well.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard all the Mick Jaggers, obviously, and then Jägermeister or whatever, but it's all the same.
And so, I mean, follow-up, you mentioned Mick Jagger. I mean, did moves like Jagger come up a lot just for you as a kid?
Yes, all the time. Every away game would always play that every time.
So for Astros fans that haven't had the chance to watch you pitch yet, what would you want them to know about you, either as a pitcher but personally too? But just what would you want the Astros fan to know about you?
I mean, that's a good question. I don't even have an answer for that right now.
Well, I'll give you a little easier one. If you were to describe your pitching style, you get on the mound first inning. Kind of what would you describe your style when it comes to attacking hitters?
I mean, I like to just think of it as the batter never knows what's coming. I like to just catch them off guard. Even if they have a plan, it'll be something completely different I've never done before. I just like to surprise them.
Awesome. All right, Jagger. Well, I appreciate it. I know it's a little difficult to get outside of the stadium. Hopefully the weather's not too bad out there, but appreciate you joining us today and chatting with us for a little bit.
Yeah, it was awesome. Thank you.
All right, that's going to do it for today's episode. So if you haven't already done so, please be sure to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. As always, thank you so much for listening. We look forward to having you back for our next episode of the Astros Future podcast covering your Astros in the minor league system.